Hi, my friends. Welcome back to our building blocks of EHS systems. We are now in the second module, BB2, and the subject is incident, accident, and near misses. And this subject actually is very broad, and there are a lot of information that need to be learned and need to be discussed and understood about the incident, accident, and near misses. And we are going to go through the basics, and the basic will take about 3 modules. And this is the first basic module for incident and accident, and in the future we will complete them. But being one of the very basic building blocks, we'll make it very simple. So let us see what we have in this lesson. As usual, I would like to remind you to have a pen and paper so you can write notes and questions that you may want to clarify later. And another thing to remind you of is the social distancing for COVID-19. So even you are doing that online, you may have friends beside you or somebody is attending with you. So please make sure you don't forget about the social distancing. It's very important for your personal safety. Okay. Now, let's have a look on the points that we are going to discuss in this module. We'll have some definitions, basic definitions. Then we will learn about the cost iceberg, how we can evaluate the actual cost of an accident. Then we'll have we will discuss the accident pyramid. Then more definitions, and then modifying the accident pyramid. Then we'll have a simple exercise or quiz, and it will be followed by going through interesting tools. And these tools are used for comparing the performance of two companies in the same industry. And these tools are the incidence and frequency rates. We'll just touch upon them. My advice for this module and for any actually module, for any information we give in these building blocks is we'll give you the starting point. Let's say we are talking about the incidence rates or frequency rates. Then understand the point here, understand the concept. But after going through 1 or 2, 3 modules, go and read about this more, right? And so always spend more time, not only these videos, spend more time in yourself and educate yourself. Okay. The first question that should come to our mind is why we should learn about and why we should be interested in accidents. Obviously, one important thing is to prevent reoccurrence. When we study accidents and analyze them and find the root causes and the direct causes, we will be able to prevent reoccurrence of this accident. And in this way, we are saving lives, protecting environment, assets, and reputation. Okay. Another very important, maybe for companies it is equally important as well, is the cost of accidents. So one of the things to compensate and recover from accidents is to get the insured part paid for us. But can we insure the loss of production? Can we insure the loss of experience and the time we spend to replace a person or train the new guy, and the loss of all the knowledge the guy built, the guys that we lost? Of course not. So this is represented here by what we call the accident iceberg. Icebergs are floating mountains of ice in the North Atlantic Ocean and in the northern pole. Only the tip we can see on the surface, and the actual body of this is below the water, and it is maybe 8 times more bigger than the one on the surface. So likewise, the retrievable part or the insured cost is almost 1/8 of the parts that we cannot compensate for. So let's take a small example. You have a car, you have insured your car, then you have an accident. Insurance will pay for the repair of the car if it is repairable, or give you only a small part of the price if you cannot repair it. Okay, let's say you can repair it and they will pay you for the repair. What about the time that the car is not available? You have to rent another car. And the inconvenience, the waste of time, the loss of jobs. Let's say it's a production company. Loss of clients, loss of opportunities, bad reputation, all these things that cannot be insured. So that is coming to 1 to 8. Like every dollar we can recover, there is an $8 that we could not recover. Actually, here they say 8 to 36 even. So the minimum will be 1 to 8. Okay, let's start the definitions. And here we have 3 words that we need to be clear about them: the incident, the accident, and the near miss. We start with the incident, and incident is unpleasant, unwanted, unexpected event. Now, we look to the consequences of the incident. If there is a damage or injury resulting from this incident, it becomes an accident. It becomes an accident. So an accident is unwanted, unexpected event resulting in damage or injury to workers and equipment and environment. And for example, a worker falling from ladder while working. And we say here unexpected because it's not deliberate act. So deliberate act like sabotage, we can be dealt in security, not in safety. We'll be dealing here with the unexpected, non-intentional. Okay. We have to remember one thing here, that accidents do not just happen. They are caused. And if they are caused, then they are preventable. Accidents don't just happen. Remember that. Okay, so accident has injury or damage. What about near miss? Near miss, again, is unplanned event and that could have the potential to cause harm, but did not actually result in any injury or damage. It just, we missed that flying part of the equipment by few inches or few centimeter or by 5 minutes, right? Like we have one incident offshore where the guy just passed beside the battery compartment, and when he is 2-3 meters away, it exploded. It exploded, and the cover that is fixed with 24 bolts just was blown apart. So he could have been killed. So that is a near miss. Okay, but remember, no one can be lucky forever. So unless we take these near misses and analyze them and find a solution for the cause and circulate our findings and make sure it is implemented and it is known, this can happen. No one can be lucky forever. But is there a relation between, for example, the number of near misses and minor injuries, or the major injuries and the fatalities? Well, there are two studies that were made in the United States that says yes, there is, and prove there is a relation. The first one, as you can see, was made by Herbert William Heinrich in 1933, who studied 75,000 accidents. And the second one, 33 years later, by Frank Ebert. In 1966, he studied and analyzed 1.7 million accidents, and he came up with what we call now the accident pyramid. If you take a closer look, although the text here may be a little small, but you can see the ratios is coming as one fatality, and for every one fatality there were 10 major injuries, and these 10 major injuries were preceded by 30 minor injuries, and the 30 minor injuries resulted maybe from 600 near misses. And his concept is like that. If we work on the from bottom, and we manage to reduce the number of near misses by reporting and encouraging people to report them and bring them to closure and finding the root cause and eliminate these causes, we will actually reduce the number of the minor injuries, which will lead to reduction in the number of major injuries, and hopefully eliminating any fatality. Simple concept, but very important and very useful. Okay, let's have some more definitions. Dangerous occurrence. The guy I told you was passing by the battery compartment and blew off, right? That is a dangerous occurrence. Let's say somebody decided that they need the toolbox up in the third or fifth floor in a building under construction, and instead of putting it with the lift, they have decided to send it up by the crane. And they did not care to secure it properly, and while moving, the guy swing a little bit faster and the box fall down, and it missed the guy underneath by few inches. So that's a dangerous occurrence. And you may say, oh, that's a near miss. Yes, it's a part, it looks like a near miss. But also dangerous occurrence may include the person have slightly injured, and that is one of the differences. So it could be a near miss or a slight injury, but in other circumstances, of course, this could have resulted in his death. Unsafe behavior. Example of unsafe behavior. The guy is that will never put his seatbelt when he drives the car. He's just not used to it. The guys that smoke anywhere, or the driver who chat with WhatsApp while driving, or the guy that crossed the road from any point in the street. He's not going to wait and walk until he finds the signal and zebra crossing. All these kind of unsafe behavior indicates unsafe culture. Is there a solution for that? Yes. There is a science called behavior-based safety, and it actually is concerned with changing the culture, and it requires a lot of coaching, open-mindedness, support from management. Behavior-based safety solve the problem by bottom-to-top approach. Means we will work on the workers and gradually go up, but without the senior management support, it will never work. And maybe that's why it is an old system or technique, but still new. Many people didn't know, even didn't hear about it. Behavioral-based safety started maybe 35 years ago in the United States and maybe 25 years in UK and Europe. And it came here in the Gulf maybe 15 years ago, and it's still many people didn't hear about it. Why? It's not successful. It requires a lot of commitment. Substandard conditions is to do with the condition of the workplace, the quality of material used, and the conditions of equipment. For example, condition of work site will mean maybe poor housekeeping, stacking of incompatible chemicals together, which may lead to reaction and fire or explosion. Even the use of wrong signage or not understanding the signage. The quality of material, for example, use cheaper replacements. I remember in a water treatment unit offshore where plastic hose that was supposed to carry sulfuric acid, it was replaced with another hose with the same length and same diameter and the same wall thickness, but the material was different, the manufacturer was different, so resulting in the hose bursting and splashing sulfuric acid everywhere. And when we went there, it was really shocking to just imagine if somebody was there and exposed to that amount of sulfuric acid. So substandard condition is very important cause of accident. Another one is the condition of equipment. For example, missing mechanical guards, isolated limit switches or bypassed limit switches, and the makeshift equipment. All these are part of the substandard condition, and it also makes us think about the preventive maintenance scheme, the training of the people, the understanding of signage. It is a whole system. Substandard condition is a very important factor. The clear understanding of the three factors, dangerous occurrences, unsafe behavior, and substandard condition, and the role they play in causing accident, together with improvement in the quality of reporting, led to modification and enhancement of Frank Bird's accident pyramid. Let's see how. First of all, you can see different ratios here. You have one fatality for every 30 lost work cases, for 300 recordable injuries, 3,000 estimated near misses, and 300,000 at-risk behavior. So the ratios now change. Another one is the introduction of dangerous occurrence to near misses in reporting, and the adding of unsafe behavior at the at-risk behavior level. The concept is still the same. You reduce the base of the pyramid, it will lead to eliminating the tip of the pyramid. The more work we do on the base, the result will show in eliminating the tip of the pyramid. Okay, here is our quiz, and maybe you have seen this picture of this library and the library administrator, Ms. Dada Saida, and today we're trying to help her. Your task is to help her take a decision. It's a very straightforward for her if she is knowledgeable, and it's confusing if she is not knowledgeable about safety. Okay, So what we have here, she have seen three scenarios, or she have watched three cases. In the first one, she saw Dr. Ramis going down the stairs, not holding his handrail. Why? Because one hand he has a few heavy books, and on the other hand he has his bag. It's very acrobatic. And is that supposed to be reported, or she should talk to him personally, or what? You need to decide, and you need to help her. In the second case, there was three reports from three different students that complained that the desk light is too bright. It's too bright for them. This is the second one. On the third one, she knows this guy Tom. He's a frequent visitor of the library. He's studying architect, and today she saw him putting his towel on the lampshade on his desk. Maybe because it is bright, as the other complaints came, or maybe he just came from the gym and he's drying it. So these three cases, what do you think? Which one of these incidents you should report? That is your quiz today, and I will wait to receive your answers. Please answer us on our email 2020bboss@gmail.com, 2020bboss@gmail.com. Okay, now we come to the final point of this presentation, which is the tools we use to compare the safety performance between different companies in the same industry, or actually compare the performance of the same company in different years. So this can be considered as one of the KPIs. Okay, so we are going to talk about the incidence rate and the frequency rate. And before I start, I want to mention that the information in these two slides are taken directly from the Health and Safety Executive of UK, and I put here in blue the site for that, hse.gov.uk/statistics. And let us see how it is done. Calculating incidence rate and frequency rate is very simple. In case of incident rate, for example, we will divide the number of injuries that we recorded this year with the number of employees of the company, and we multiply that by 100,000. So if I am comparing two companies, and these two companies happen to have the same number of injuries in a certain year, but company A have half of the number of employees of company B, then of course the incidence rate of that company will be much higher than the second company. Okay, and likewise, when we consider calculating frequency rate, we will divide the number of injury in a certain year with the numbers of hours worked by that company in the whole year. We are now using the number of hours, and we will multiply that by 1 million. We multiply that by 1 million. Which one is right? Both of them are proper approaches. The only thing is, if the number of hours is too big and the difference is too big between the two companies or between the 2 years for the same company, then it is preferable to use the frequency rate. If the difference in the number of hours is insignificant, then it's easier to use the incidence rate. One more thing is, remember we said we are comparing two companies in the same industry. That is apple to apple. It will be not very wise and misleading if we say, for example, company A the frequency rate was 1.2, and company B, the frequency rate is 3.5, so company A is better. And then we discovered that company A is a bakery and company B is a offshore drilling company, or uh, working in transfer of hazardous chemicals. We need to compare companies in the same industry, apple to apple. Okay, that's all for this module. I think there is few important points we have managed to cover, and of course other information will be covered in future modules. Thank you very much. Okay, we talked about readings and further studies before, and here are some suggestions that may be related some of the keywords that we mentioned in this presentation. You can search the net and learn. You don't need to read hundreds of things. For example, you want to know about 5Y technique, you just search for a 5Y technique. You will have hundreds of thousands of documents about it. Just choose one of them. Choose one of them, and you will build experience. Which sites are always giving the most concise and clear explanation. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you very much. Lastly, I would like you to remember these statements and always take them with you. Accidents do not just happen, they are caused. The images on the right side are images of the Piper Alpha disaster in 1988 and 167 fatalities. So I'm dedicating this module to the memory of these 167 victims. Thank you. And please don't forget to subscribe to our BBOS channel and invite friends. And if you have any questions, you can contact us by email. And if you want to have a personal conversation, you can call me on this number. And thank you. Finally, I would like to thank our sister company, Transtech Solutions Limited, for making it possible for us to provide you this free training. Transtech Solutions Limited is the agent of Novacool in UAE and the GCC countries. You can visit the website of Novacool. It is a very unique and I can say confidently miraculous firefighting foam. And what is the relation with our training and building blocks? First, they have enabled us to give it free. Second, as a professional safety supervisor, you should be interested in fire as a hazard in the workplace. And you should be also interested to know the different ways of controlling fire. And one of them is using foam. And this is a super foam. So have a look, visit the site, and see you next time. Thank you.